But as you know, when Vice President Harris and President Trump ran against each other for the presidency, one of the planks in President Trump's platform was that he was going to review every penny of federal government spending. Why did he say that? Why did he promise to do that? Well, first, there's a moral principle involved. People worked hard for their money, and when they give it to government, they're entitled to expect government to spend it efficiently. Number two, President Trump ran on that plank because of our debt. The federal debt is $36.5 trillion. You know, we throw these numbers around like a trillion, you know, we start to take them for granted. To give you a little perspective, this $36.5 trillion, it grows bigger by the second. It's going to increase. If we just keep doing what we've been doing, it's going to increase $1 trillion every 100 days. If we just keep doing what we've been doing, it's going to increase $10 billion a day. Today, nothing changed. We added $10 billion in debt.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow patriots, buckle up, because what I'm about to share will make your blood boil. I just watched a speech by a Louisiana senator, and I've got to tell you, this is the kind of Washington insanity that makes you wonder if anyone in D.C. remembers that the taxpayers are bleeding dry are real people with real struggles. This, my friends, is exactly why America is $36.5 trillion in debt, and why the swamp is more alive than ever. So grab your coffee, sit tight, and let's break this down.
This $36.5 trillion, it grows bigger by the second. It's going to increase. If we just keep doing what we've been doing, it's going to increase $1 trillion every 100 days. If we just keep doing what we've been doing, it's going to increase $10 billion a day. Today, nothing changed. We added $10 billion in debt. That's also $417 million an hour. That's $6.9 million a minute. I think I've been talking about a minute. We just added $7 million to our debt. That's why the president wants to get rid of spending porn. The reaction here in Washington, Mr. President, has been breathtaking. I understand Washington is not exactly a slice of America. I get that. I understand that Washington is not normal. Normal in Washington, D.C. is a setting on the dryer. So I get all that. We're different in Washington. But the pushback to President Trump's effort through Mr. Musk and his team to reduce spending has just been extraordinary. I mean, people are barking and yelping and shrieking about it. They sound like the game room in a mental hospital. And I get that a lot of people don't like President Trump, and I get that many people don't like Mr. Musk, and I get that Mr. Musk is different. I kind of like that. I mean, I like different. You know, he's the sort of guy that would wear, I don't know, he'd wear Crocs to a wedding. I get that. I find it kind of refreshing. But nobody's ever called him a dummy. And he's found an incredible amount of waste and abuse of taxpayer money, what I call spending porn. I'm not going to repeat everything I repeated or I said the first time we talked about this, but Mr. President, it seems to me to be once again extraordinary that people are mad at at President Trump and Mr. Musk for the process they're using. But no, they're not mad about the money being wasted. I mean, Mr. Musk, whether you like him or not, he's found, for example, $7.9 million we spent to teach Sri Lankan journalists to avoid binary gendered language. He's found money that was given to an NGO to empower the LGBT community in Armenia. He found $1.5 million that we spent to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem. $2.1 million to the BBC to strengthen the media ecosystem in Libya. $8.3 million spent for equity and inclusion education in Nepal. Does no one care about how the money was actually abused and wasted?
So here's the bottom line. President Trump, love him or hate him, ran on the promise to review every single penny of federal spending. He said it straight up. If Americans work hard for their money, they deserve a government that doesn't burn in a bonfire of woke nonsense. And boy, was he right. The senator reminded us that our national debt is skyrocketing. $10 billion a day. That's $417 million every single hour. While we're out here tightening our belts, Washington is out there swiping the tax every single hour. While we're out here tightening our belts, Washington is out there swiping the taxpayer credit card like it's a bottomless trust fund. Now, here's the kicker. Elon Musk, yep, the guy the left loves to hate, is helping Trump uncover what the senator calls spending porn. Folks, I've got to agree with him. This is worse than waste. This is political corruption dressed up as progress. Do you know what they found? Millions to teach journalists in Sri Lanka how to avoid binary gendered language. Money for LGBT activism in Armenia. Millions to rebuild Cuba's media system. And $8.3 million to push equity and inclusion education in, wait for it, Nepal. I've got one word for this. Why? Why are hard-working Americans footing the bill for woke projects overseas, while our southern border is a disaster, our cities are drowning in crime, and families can't afford groceries? But hold on to your hats, because it gets worse. Enter Stacey Abrams. Yeah, the same Stacey Abrams who ran for governor of Georgia twice and lost both times, and somehow became the darling of the Democratic Party. Well, according to the senator, under Biden's EPA, Abrams' little circle of nonprofits, brand new, no experience, one of them literally had $100 in the bank, got awarded $2 billion. That's billion with a B. They called themselves Power Forward Communities. Sounds nice, right? Sounds like something from a Hallmark Channel commercial. But dig deeper, and it's a startup coalition of groups, including Abrams Rewiring America, that literally admitted on their IRS forms that their main purpose was to go after a government grant. No track record, no accomplishments, just $100 in revenue. And Joe Biden's EPA said, here's $2 billion of taxpayer money. Go fight gas stoves and install heat pumps. Folks, if this isn't a political slush fund, I don't know what is. And the cherry on top? Biden's administration gave them 21 days to spend the money, but 90 days to take a class on how to make a budget. That's right. They could blow your tax dollars before they even knew how to balance a checkbook. I can't decide if this is criminal, incompetent, or just flat out insulting. Listen, patriots, this is why we fight for accountability. This is why we back leaders like Trump who say enough is enough. Because while average Americans are paying $890 more a month just to survive Biden's inflation, Washington is shipping your money off to woke projects and politically connected insiders. I don't care where you stand on politics, Republican, Independent, even a Democrat who still believes in common sense. This is wrong. Our government was never meant to be a piggy bank for failed politicians and their pet projects. This is our country. These are our tax dollars. And if we don't start demanding accountability, the swamp will keep getting fatter while the American people get poorer. So share this video. Wake people up. Because if this doesn't light a fire under you, nothing will. This is why we fight. This is why we vote. And this is why we say loud and proud, enough is enough. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.